This is a video on a subject we've touched on beforehand, and even though we've discussed it before, it's an important ongoing issue and something we want to address. So what we'll be doing today is, friends of Ai4Autism, is take a look at the following article on the iNews website entitled "How Autism is Being Missed in Women and Girls. I wasn't male enough for a diagnosis." More women are learning that they have autism as adults after learning to mask their traits as children, but diagnosis rates are way below those for boys and men. And here's a photograph of Beth Rees, was diagnosed with psychiatrist illnesses until receiving a diagnosis for autism in her 30s. We've seen it before, we've read about it before, especially with girls who are known for masking and only discovering later on in life. We're talking about maybe late 20s or early 30s. But can you imagine the number of girls who haven't been diagnosed? Sorry, I'm offering my comments here and we haven't even started going through the article. We won't go through all of it, but just a little bit, enough to get the conversation going. So let's begin. Jasmine Anderson was diagnosed with autism a fortnight ago. The 34-year-old, who lives in North Lanarkshire, Scotland, is relieved to receive her diagnosis, but she's angry that it didn't happen sooner. "I've struggled my whole life," she says. "A diagnosis would have brought in more support and self-understanding." Anderson is a single parent of 2 children who are both currently on the pathway to autism diagnosis themselves. But in her school days, she remembers having a narrower interpretation of what autism meant. "My understanding of autism was non-verbal people or people with learning difficulties," she says. "Academically, I did well at school. I struggled with applying myself, but if I was interested in the subject, I could study no problem and get A's," she remembers. In her nursing training, she got 98% in anatomy exams, but when it came to practical assignments, Anderson found working with others and reading their body language hard. When she was in her 20s, her mental health suffered and she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. "We're often misdiagnosed," she says. So many people we know who we've spoken to can agree. Her children's autistic symptoms led Jasmine Anderson to consider that she might be autistic. Anderson is far from alone in discovering her neurodiversity as an adult. Only 1 in 20 autistic women were diagnosed in childhood. Though awareness is now growing, there is a strong link between mental health conditions and autism, especially in women, with a new study showing that more than 60% of autistic women and almost 45% of autistic men have been diagnosed with psychiatric condition by the age of 25, compared with 14% of non-autistic women and 9% of non-autistic men. I'm not going to read the rest of the article. It goes into some statistics and shares some other examples too of people's experiences. But do have a look at the article yourself. It's an ongoing issue. We've got suggestions to help alleviate this and resolve it, going hand in hand with artificial intelligence and machine learning. But what are your thoughts on this matter? And how would you want to solve this and improve the condition of autistic people with an early diagnosis? What are your thoughts? Check out this video. Check out the link. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe. And remember, love, life and AI.